Hi everyone, good morning. Today we are going to read a beautiful story called Sleeping Beauty. Do you know something about this story? It's a tale, but do you know what a fairy tale contains? Let me read you a little summary about it. Fairy tales, like The Flower King's Daughter, are stories for children. They are often about characters like kings, queens, dragons, witches, and animals that can talk. Two famous fairy tale writers were the brothers Grimm from Germany. Do you like that country? It's in the other part of the world. Some of their stories are Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, Cinderella, and Hansel and Gretel. The American studio Walt Disney make films of famous fairy tales. Some of these are Aladdin, The Little Mermaid, and Pinocchio. Okay, so which fairy tales do you know? Did you read some about it? Did you read it before? Did you like it? Okay, let me know it in the commentaries. So, let's go to read the story to you. Pay attention. Once upon a time, there lived a good king and his queen. They had no children for many years and were very sad. Then, one day, the king gave birth to a lovely baby girl, and the whole kingdom was happy. There was a grand celebration, and all of the fairies in the kingdom were invited. But the king forgot to invite an old fairy. Do you know what's that fairy? She came to the celebration, but she was very angry. Said it was time to give the baby with special wishes. The good fairies wished her and said, "May she grow the world. She will sing sweetly, and she dance so well. She will live happily." All the fairies blessed the baby and gave her beautiful gifts. When it was the old fairy's turn, she said, "When the baby is 16, she will touch a spinel and die." The king and queen were shocked and begged the fairy to forgive them and take her words back, but the fairy refused to do so. She's so bad, right? When the other fairies saw the king and queen crying, they said, "We cannot undo what the old fairy has spoken, but we certainly can make it different. Your child shall not die when she touches the spindle, but she will fall into a deep sleep for 100 years. It's a lot of time, like the quarantine. Then a prince will come along and wake her up." Hearing this, the king and the queen were left. The king forbade everyone from spinning so that the princess could never touch a spindle. The princess grew up to be a kind girl and help people in need. Everybody loved her. The years passed. When the princess was 16 years old, she was walking in the woods when she saw an old lady spinning. "What is it? May I try?" And the princess sat down to spin, but the moment she touched the spindle, she fell to the floor in a deep slumber. The old lady took her back to the place, and the king and queen laid her on her bed. They were very sad and called the good fairies. The fairies felt sorry for them and cast a spell over the whole kingdom so that when the princess woke up after 100 years, she would not be alone in the palace. Everyone, including the wardens and the servants and the animals, were not fast asleep. For 100 years, they all sleep soundly. 100 years passed. They came a prince from a far off land. He, along with his servants, went deep into the forest and crossed many rivers. Once the prince lost his way and was separated from the rest of the travelers, he came to the sleeping kingdom and was amazed. The wardens, the servants, the cats, and the cows were all fast asleep and snoring. The prince reached the palace and entreated. No one moved. The prince then found the sleeping princess. She was such a beautiful girl that the prince kissed her. By the time 100 years had passed and everyone was waking up one by one, the princess yawned and opened her eyes. She saw the prince and smiled. She asked him, "Are you my prince?" Oh my gosh, I suppose that it's true love. He was happy to hear her speak. The prince and the princess fell in love with each other. The prince went to marry the princess, so they went to ask for permission from their parents. The king and the queen arranged for a royal wedding. All the clothes the bride wore were 100 years old, but she looked beautiful. Soon they were married, and then they rode away to the prince's kingdom far, far, and far away. Okay, I hope you understand the story. I know that it's a short story, but I suppose that you know something about it. Please let me know, what do you think about story? Did you listen it before? Did you watch a movie about it? So I hope you enjoy it. Bye.